Hey guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be doing a Pan That Palette update. But before we get into the update, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. And if you like Pan That Palette videos, I'd really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. Alright, so now let's get into the update, and just to remind you, I am trying to pan the Lorac Pro Metal palette for this year, and I will go ahead and show you some footage of what my palette looked like the last time I did an update, and then I will show you what it looks like now. And now this is what my palette currently looks like. Quite a few changes from last month, and I have been using this for now just a little over half a year. There are definitely some big changes in my palette this month. I'd say the biggest one is that this shade is completely different from the last time you saw this palette. This used to be the black shade, the shade Onyx in the palette, and my goal with that shade was just to hit pan, which I had done because I really didn't like that shade. It was Fallout City. It was just one of the messiest eyeshadows I've ever used. So I was very happy to stop using that, and I decided that I was just going to take it out of the palette because I knew I never wanted to finish it. So I ended up taking it out, and what I ended up doing was I mixed a couple of different shades to make something a little bit more wearable as an inner corner highlight and a brow bone highlight, because you guys might remember that I really have been having a hard time using the color Quartz. So to make this shade over here, I used a little bit of the Quartz and then a little bit of what was left in Gilded, and then I also brought in a shade from my Urban Decay Naked 3 palette, which I don't have down here. I should have brought that down here with me to show you, but it's the second lightest matte shade that I've been working on in that palette. I added a little bit of that to make it a little less frosty, and let me go ahead and give you a couple of swatches so you can see the difference between the Quartz shade and then the shade that I made. So this is the shade Quartz in the palette, which as you can tell is just super blindingly white. And then this is the shade that I mixed, Quartz, Gilded, and then that shade from the Naked 3. So it's still, as you can see, pretty shimmery, but it's definitely been toned down quite a bit. And I do really like this shade. So I'm super happy that I went ahead and did that. Like I said, I knew I wasn't going to use the black, so that was just kind of, taking up space. I wasn't going to use it. So to, get a little bit more use out of the Quartz shade, especially so that I like it better, I can get through it maybe a little bit faster, I went ahead and created a new shade, and I really like it. It's been raining out, and that is my sump pump. I'm in my basement right now, and the sump pump is really loud. If you've been watching these updates, you might remember that last month I did have a shade in the Rose Gold pan. I had used up Rose Gold completely, but I went ahead and mixed Gilded and Amber together and kind of did a hybrid shade that way, and just put it in this pan. Well, that one is completely gone. I had used up almost all of it. There was just a little bit around the edges. So what I ended up doing was redigging that stuff out and put it in the Amber section here, or the Amber pan, which as of last update was only about halfway full. And I only had about a quarter of the shade Gilded left since I had used some of it to make that shade there. So I added that to this pan as well and just kind of mixed it all up and created that shade. So it's mostly amber, I would say, with a little bit of Gilded thrown in, and it's really pretty. I will show you a little swatch here. So that is what that shade looks like. That's the shade that I've been using pretty much every single time I do my makeup. I just use it as an all over lid shade. So I am really happy that I went ahead and kind of recombined the Gilded and the Amber shade. Then hopefully by the next update I can have a little bit of pan showing again there. Alright, so now moving on to the shade Graphite. I'm getting real close to being done. I'm just using that still as an outer corner shade and then blending that under my lash line. So hopefully by next month I can be done with it. If I'm not going to be done with it next month, I will be very close. So within the next 2 months I should definitely be done with that shade. And then now moving on down here to the shade Clover. I don't think I used that one very much this last month, maybe once or twice. That's kind of how I've been using that shade, just once or twice every month just to get a little bit of use out of it. Once Graphite is gone, I'm going to try and use Clover as my outer corner and lower lash line shade. I haven't even tried it yet. I know I've been saying that I've been going to, but I really just want to get Graphite out, so I haven't even tried using Clover that way yet. Hopefully it'll work, because otherwise I'm just going to have to use that all over my lid every single day, which I don't like to do because I have to use like a crease color with it. And with Amber, I don't really feel like I have to use a crease color. I mean, it looks better if I do, but if I'm just in a rush, I feel, get away with just using Amber on my lids. But with Clover, I don't think that I can do that. And then the last shade in the palette, the blue called Cobalt, I haven't touched it. I haven't touched it since I had my baby 3 months ago, so I don't anticipate doing anything different with that shade going forward. forward through the end of the year. If that is the only shade that I have left in this palette by the end of the year, I'm going to say goodbye to it. I don't know though. I don't know that I'm going to be able to finish Quartz. I'd be happy if I could finish off this shade here, but I don't think that I'm going to get to this shade by the end of the year, or this part of Quartz by the end of the year. I just don't see myself finishing that. I think I will go ahead and try and finish this off into next year if I need to, but the Cobalt shade, like I said, I don't plan on really using that anymore. So I think that's pretty much it then for my Pan That Palette update. Just to recap some goals that I have going forward into the next month, I would like to finish off Graphite. I might be able to do it. If not, I will be very close next month. I definitely want to hit Pan on the Amber shade here, which is, you know, the hybrid shade between Gilded and Amber. And then I think I can maybe try and hit Pan on this kind of hybrid shade too that I made between Quartz, Gilded, and that shade from my Naked 3. But we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me for a little bit today. I would really appreciate it if you would go ahead and subscribe to my channel. We can also connect on Instagram. I will have that link listed in the description box below. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!